Having a home for them is even more dangerous. So come on in and be dangerfied. This station is not supported by any government or any other organization for that matter. Only you, the listener, helps us keep the electrons flowing through the copper, or whatever else that might be. So if you can donate, please do. But you know what? If you can't, that's okay. Because, things are tough all over. I'll talk about that in a second. Because something upset me today. I'm not one that doesn't talk about being upset, so I'll tell you. But if you can't donate, that's okay. Just tell people about the station. It's all good. It's all good. Today is the 31st of October, 2024. Happy Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Day of the Dead. However you might be celebrating it. And that's something I'm going to talk about in a second. The thing that upset me. But yeah, All Hallows Eve. Important holiday. An ancient holiday.
Ancient.
Like all the...
Pagan ancient.
Like all the Wiccan, like all the Wiccan high holidays.
Mm-hmm.
4 of them. I was born on one, together with Harry Potter. But yeah, a few people had their birthday today, which I learned just talking to people I work with and people in the family and friends arena. So it's an auspicious day, Day of the Dead. Like I said, you can catch The Cave on the air, on the line all the time, and on your smart device. So grab an app to listen anywhere or listen at home with Grace Tabletop Digital Radio. Is that still copy that we do say? I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm used to it.
Me too.
I feel odd if I don't say it. It's
I
a bit
know.
strange. But you know what's cool, Dave? Archives are free. And archives
Really?
are super free.
Free?
And that's super cool. That's right. That's so Sigma, man.
What's the world
Yeah.
coming to?
It's Sigma. That's I'm up with the lingo, man. It's free archive is Sigma. Don't try to be cool like me. It's hard work.
Skibbity. I know the teens know what that means.
That's not good. Skibbity is very bad. And I know all the background of these things now. I've been educated. But yeah, so archives are free. Check it out. It's good. Another good reason to donate. Before we start broadcasting at you in anger, with all our anger, mighty anger, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast, and for Mr. David Duggar.
It is the Darkened Jung.
Thank you. So for myself, of course, the Dark people, and we'd like to pay our respects to others past, present, and future. Thank you very much for letting us do this. If I sound a bit nasally, it's because I'm suffering from some kind of allergy, I think. I do apologize. I might be, hopefully I won't be sneezing, but I was near charcoal fires today. I guess a kebab shop reopened under new management, and they gave away free kebabs for lunch. And of course, my wife and I
Nice.
helped ourselves to free food, the best kind.
That's pretty
Right
cool.
after food, you get paid for to eat. It's also good food. What? How does that happen? when? What? Anyway, yes, upset, Dave. I was.
How?
Greatly.
What happened?
So, look, Halloween was never something I celebrated when I was a child. We have Carnival in Germany, which is sort of a mix between that, like Halloween and I guess some kind of Brazilian Carnival, with floats and whatnot. It's similar, it's not the same. But we never celebrated it. Came to Australia. You remember, Dave, as a child, you probably never celebrated Halloween in Australia either.
No, we didn't. It wasn't something we did, no.
No, it's very much an American holiday. And that's okay, right? We had November 1st, which was All Saints Day. So, go to the cemetery, light a candle. This is what we used to do. And also, I almost forgot it. Happy Diwali for a very large
Diwali,
chunk
of course, yes.
of the human population, Festival of Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting story behind that, which we might share with you one day. So happy Halloween, happy Diwali, I guess pensive All Souls Day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But yeah, so Halloween wasn't really a thing. But look, my kids like it. Here in the neighborhood, it's big, a lot of young families, and it really is quite a big thing now in my
Do
neighborhood.
people decorate?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm one of those people as well, right? So I carve pumpkins for my kids because they like it, so why not, right? And So I carved this year. I carved 3 pumpkins. I bought a witch, which if you touch, she's life size. She has a horrifying cackle of a laugh.
Nice.
It frightens the bejesus out of you. And anyway, so I went to Costco.
That reminds me of
Costco
pantomimes.
Oh, really? That's the one. What you got it in one, my friend. That's exactly what it sounds like. And we got Costco here in Australia now. We had it for a while. Anyway, I went to Costco to buy the candy, and I bought a lot of candy.
Oh,
Costco makes it cheaper, which helps. And so I literally, I won't say how many. I probably will have to in the course of my story misadventure here. But a lot of candy, right? A lot of like little snack-sized, candy bars, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we are. It's all ready to go. We've got to take the girls swimming. In my naivete, because we won't be there for the afternoon after all the kids come out of school, because my kids go swimming for an hour and a half or so. And I left a big silver bowl. It's not a silver bowl. It's a metal bowl set that we have 5 bowls.
Yeah, it's stainless steel bowls or something like that. Right?
Yeah, like
mixing. Yeah,
like about bush.
General kitchen stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and all in the setting sizes. We took the largest one, filled it with candy, left it in front of the door with all the decorations. And I have a life-sized child skeleton that I hang from the balcony. And I drew up
as you do.
A sign. Oh, well, don't we all? But I did hang it from the balcony with a sign around it, like saying, "Only 1 candy per child."
Sure.
Or Bob will eat your liver. Or worse to that effect. I came back and not only was the candy
can I have a guess?
Which I expected. Go on.
All the candy was gone.
They also stole the bowl.
Oh, I had the bowl!
So they stole the bowl from kids. And I'm not one for gated communities, but the gated community idea is becoming more and more appealing to me.
Looking more attractive.
Yeah, because a lot of the kids that come around, and when I say kids, I use the term loosely, because if you're older than 12, trick-or-treating is not for you anymore, okay? I mean, I'll tell you something else that happened. It really upsets me. So the bowl was gone, and now the biggest bowl is missing. I used it for a lot of stuff, so now I have to go and find another set of bowls. An inconvenience, but it also speaks to a certain mindset. Like this is a house, it's a stranger's house. They put candy out in front for you. Yeah, they decorated it for your enjoyment, which and I hand-carved my pumpkins, right? So it does take an hour or two to do it. And then you come along and you think it's a good idea to take all the candy. Fair enough. I have no truck with that because the candy was going to be given away anyway. It's okay.
That's right.
But then you decide you will also take the clearly not a throwaway bowl, but a sturdy kitchen implement, and you decide that it's now something that you can steal, because that's what it is. Right. It's theft.
It's theft. Mm-hmm.
It's straight up theft, and that upset me. And then I started thinking about this a bit more, and then I realized this is a wider realization I had, and it really upset me because I don't like to think that way. I know I sound jaded and sarcastic all the time. I get it.
Welcome, Mickey. You're with friends.
but I still believe that there's goodness, and people will do the right thing if you just give them an opportunity. I still believe it. But what I also believe is that we have raised maybe more than one generation now of kids that lack even the most rudimentary appreciation for good manners and how one should conduct oneself in society. I know I sound like an old
I can hear them
fogey,
swearing at you now, Mickey.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't like the look of those teenagers over there.
The teenagers look scary.
Yeah, that's right. But look, I really believe that's what's happened here. Because I look back at my childhood, and I know I'm an old fogey, I get it, and then other kids as well. But there was respect, and there was a certain understanding. I mean, stealing is not a good thing. It's something you shouldn't do, right? I mean, okay, if you're hard up and you're poor and all that, I get it. I mean, there's always a reason why things happen, and I'm not I understand life. I've lived, okay, but this is a wider cultural phenomenon, I fear, Dave, that I'm witnessing. I'm seeing these kids, and when I said you should be no older than 12 when you go trick-or-treating, I mean it. Because there was a group of about 5 girls that came to my house, And I'm not entirely sure what they were dressed as. They all wore the same thing. It looked like a very skimpy gym outfit. Short shorts and the t-shirts were painted on pretty much. Yeah, and then they were 17 kidding. If they were a day.
Yeah, I know.
17 or 18. And these you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't trick or treat. And then the same with teenage boys. Clearly not quite as provocatively dressed as the girls, but. And I'm not a Puritan either. But I'm just there's a place and time for everything. And maybe Halloween is not the place to wear those kinds of things. But hey, what do I know? So yeah, I was upset. I really was, and not just about the ball, but about the general notion of the thing. Because trick or treating in our neighborhood goes from about 4 to about 7:30ish, 8 maybe, right? By 6 o'clock, all the candy was gone, and I bought in excess of 1,000 pieces of candy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that there were more than 1,000 individual pieces of whatever.
And there's no way that 500 people or came past you, yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of kids that came past. Don't get me wrong, right? That's the truth, and it's popular, but
good.
Not that many.
Not one each, not two each, not five each, but
well,
someone's emptied the whole container, and the next person, someone's gone to empty the whole container and went, I don't have a bag big enough. I'll just take the whole container.
Yeah, look,
with all the candy in it.
This person no longer has any use for this ball, so I might as well have it.
Yeah,
clearly, because that's what normal people do. But I do find it upsetting. But it does, like I said, it does speak to a certain mindset. I fear that we, and I mean all of us, not just some anonymous agency outside of ourselves, is responsible. I think we all are responsible.
Oh yeah, totally.
In larger and smaller ways, but just by maybe having looked the other way or not saying something or being indifferent at some point about something where you now look back and think, I wish I had said something. And what happens is society, in my opinion, not just because of this particular incident, but it certainly drove the point home for me, is in decline. We are in decline. I watched. I don't know why I do this to me, but I watched.
And social values are deteriorating.
Oh, completely, 100%. And I watch the American election coverage as well. And let me just say, no one is covering themselves in glory there. It's no one.
No.
Okay, but if that is the standard of behavior that we have now come to accept,
yes,
from potential presidents of the United States, future presidents, or even past presidents. If that's the behavior we're thinking, that's fair, that's normal, people should behave like this, maybe we don't deserve any better, Dave. Maybe it's just as well.
I want to tell the audience that you're witnessing Complaints Anonymous, where you can just come here and and rant about the state of the planet, because that's kind of what we're doing. Mackie, in my community here, my kids went to a lot of effort to wear, and a friends, which they all met at our house and then walked kilometers. They weren't. I'll tell you what was surprising. What I thought. So they had a planned route to go past a teacher's house, some friends, which houses they already marked. Earmarked, not on a map, but in their minds, as if they're going to visit and have a look, and that's great, right?
Yeah.
Now rain interrupted their walk, and I had to go pick them up from a kilometre away or something, right? Which is good, and they were very pleased with themselves with the amount. It's meager amount of candy, but they did, and I said 10% goes to the house. I was only kidding, and then. Suddenly, each of them, gave me some of their candy. I turned some away, but I took the good ones.
Oh, you got to keep some though, right?
Yeah, I had to have one or two of them, which I did, and the rest is up to them. I didn't go walking, but I did save them from the rain. But I'll tell you, when I was driving to go pick them up, I noticed one thing really that it was astonishing. Parents, like, I think trick-or-treating should be your local neighbourhood.
Yeah.
It should be walking distance. You should be walking with your parents. If you're little, like preschool, primary school kind of things, yeah? Where it's all fantasy to them and the whole world is magical, right? And the parents were stopping in their vehicle and everyone was exiting at the house, just acquiring candy and getting in their car and driving to the next house. Right? That was one group, which that I have to say, that's really lazy. But then you've got to ask the question: how far afield did they come to our street?
Yes.
Which is, there's only two ways in and out from the main road, and then the rest of it, there's probably 200-300 houses here in this, not an estate, but collection of houses around two large schools. Right. Anyway, then there were the Eshays. Now, if you don't know who they are, it's fine. Elder teenage boys, all on bicycles with their backpacks, stopping at each house. And look, they may as well have had balaclavas and weapons, right? I'm not saying they did. They didn't. But as a pack, they were a pack of kids.
Yeah.
Like 10 kids. Like, what do you do? And they weren't even dressed, unless you call it like their pack mentality, unless you call that their outfit, where they were just dressed as Eshays, right? Fine, right? I don't agree with it, but they're the people who will be, selling stuff on a street corner in a couple of years, right?
They're selling the candy now, mate. They're selling the candy now.
Absolutely. So they've gone online, put it online. I might find a silver bowl, Mackie, in Pemulwuy area on eBay. So one thing, most of the young, say, entry level high school, like our high school here is for everyone. We don't have a junior high. We just have a single high school from year 7 to 12. You do the math, you work out what that means for you, right? Most of them were dressed in like ballerina outfits for some reason. And there's a tutu and a tight top, right? It could have been fairies or something. I don't know. I didn't understand the reference because I don't know of any movie where this is currently a thing. But, what do I know? My daughter, though, dressed as a character from Team Fortress 2.
Cool.
That's great. She made the outfit herself. Those cosplayers at the Comic Cons, right? She wants to do that. And she did a very good rendition of the mechanic. That is the guy that sets up the autocannons, right? Fantastic stuff, right? Now, our other friends were all dressed as, their own thing. And I got to commend them for doing that and getting out there. Unfortunately, I've got a driveway that's extremely long and steep, and it's a filter. We don't see anybody up here at all. No one will venture up into the darkness, right? And not a chance. It even filters out the religious types who would frequent everybody else's front door and give them a knock. I had one intrepid guy in the middle of the summer once, and I had to give him some water, and I sat him down while he drank the water and then talked about UFOs, and he left. Sucker. Anywho, I believe the fantasy is fantastic for the kids to get about. I don't see many tricks happening. And I mean, it's trick or treat. In America, I know I've told the story before, but the host family that I lived with when I went to school, him and his friends, they were maths and sociology professors at Fullerton, university, right? Cal State. And they had one of the most elaborate, terrifying kind of tricks. They were morticians dressed in very thin, they were thin, but they dressed in tall, but they dressed in very thin pinstripe suits with top hats and walked this coffin around. And when kids go trick or treat, they go trick and go, all right. And they would put the feet of the coffin on the ground and open up the bottom half, which exposed legs. And then the top half of the coffin, they would say, are you sure? And the kid would go, yeah, let's do that. And on the shelf, when they opened up the top, it was empty, except for a bag of candy. And they went, I don't see, there's no trick in that. But as soon as the child put their hand in to grab the candy, the person holding up the coffin to near vertical would grab the kid's hand through what didn't appear to be, a way of doing it, but there was only material there. There wasn't a solid bottom, and it was split like curtains at a theatre, and they just grabbed the kid's hand. There was screaming. Parents were yelling. Lots of fun to be had, and the police would eventually find them and say, we warned you last year. You got to stop this. You're grown men. Stop it. You're scaring the kids to death. A true story. And they go, righto. And then next year, it's out there again. Because it's about the trick. It isn't about the candy. If you trick them, you don't have to give them candy.
Yes.
And that's meant to be the deal. But here it's just a candy fest. I imagine kids with wheelbarrows. Or, the parent waiting in the car and the kid comes back with a whole backpack full of candy, pours it into a big bin inside the car, and then the parents going, off you go, get some more, right? And they operate a corner store or something. I'm only mucking around. I'm only making a joke. But it seems like it's, I imagine in some areas, Mecca, you could be, this is our side of the street, you go work that side. You could have it being controlled by some families, a familia, yeah? Controlled on one side of the street.
Molto bene.
Molto bene. I'm thinking Trimboli. That's what am I talking about? I don't know. I'm making names up now.
But I think what you said earlier, though, there are two points which I completely agree with. Mm-hmm. Number one, you should walk. You should walk.
Yeah, totally.
And related, but not necessarily, in a causative fashion, you should do it in your neighborhoods. I mean, you could drive somewhere and walk. You could do that. But I also believe that you should walk it, and it should be in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We had the drive-bys as well, Dave. We had the drive-bys. And you're right. Also, it's a candy fest. And sometimes the kids didn't even bother to dress up. I mean, if the kids dress up, it's great. And it's for the little kids that I do it, up to the age of, like I said, 12, right? Mm-hmm. You put the Halloween decorations. That's the same reason I put Christmas decorations up, right? It's not for me. I don't look at my house. I don't. But you have to think about that, right? You don't look at your house. What's the point, right? You do it for the kids, and my kids specifically. My kids love it when I carve the pumpkins and all that wonderful stuff. But it is become a... See, like most good things, Dave, the idea of the United States of America, I guess the Magna Carta, if you want to go that far back, these were all really good ideas, right? And over time, we've managed to corrupt them utterly. And I find it sad. Is it that we just can't help ourselves? Have we really raised generations of people now that are just completely, this is what it is, self-centered, completely egotistical. They only see themselves. I get really upset when I see garbage thrown into the world.
Yeah.
And there's this a duck pond near my house, and not directly into the duck pond, but there's sort of like a wetland near it. Mm. And for some reason, every once in a while, a shopping trolley is
totally.
pitched off the bridge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
into the wetland.
It
I mean,
takes
it
an
takes
effort to
effort.
do it too. Yeah.
You can't roll it into it because there's bush and scrub. Physically, you can't actually roll it down the embankment. You have to heave it across the railing,
Sure.
and you know, and thus unburden yourself of this
Unburden.
of this terrible load. I mean, there's some kind of unburdening happening, I'm sure. But I look at it and I'm going, what in the world possessed you to take a perfectly good shopping trolley? Let's tell you about another pet. Today it's just complaint day. Mackie's complained. Mackie's upset. And then it's sitting there. I think, idiots. What upsets me as well is when people take the trolley to their apartment or house and leave it there.
And leave it. Yeah.
I've taken my shopping now, and all of a sudden it's no longer my problem. So, I don't know. I don't know what this trolley thing is to talk about. Never seen it. What? I mean, honestly, I'm upset at the state of the world, Dave. I'm upset of the selfishness of people. I saw it in India. Now, India's a slightly different animal, right? And I've spent a lot of time in India. But what I noticed in India, I noticed something that's very interesting. People are very house proud.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what kind of place they live in, even if it's just living on an intersection, right, or on the side of the road, like in a slum kind of area. They're very proud of their dwellings, and that they keep it as clean as they can, neat and everything, right? They go, oh wow, this is quite something. But God forbid anything happens just one step outside the house. No longer my problem. That's what I saw in Delhi, at least, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess because India is teeming with billions, soon billions. It's 1.4. They've overtaken China now significantly. Mm-hmm. And I get it. There's a lot of people around. It's really hard to care about too much outside your house because there's just too many people. Literally, there are too many people. It's insane. But I get it, kind of. But here in Australia, we've got 26 million people. Don't be a person that throws this stuff on the ground, into the waterway. Please don't litter. Please, I beg you.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where people didn't throw their garbage away. I didn't, have random. Vandalism. I don't mind graffiti. Graffiti. If that's really your thing, whatever. It can always be washed off or painted over. Right? It doesn't really bother me. But physically throwing your garbage in places, no, that's a whole different thing. And it's usually, it's thoughtless because
I know.
You go into a park and you see wrappers of things or cups or something, and they didn't even think twice about dropping it on the ground. I'm finished with it, so I no longer have any use for it. Similar to the kid that decided that my ball no longer serves a purpose because all the candy had been liberated now. Well, the ball is now also free to come with me. So similarly, the coffee cup, which I was previously using to enjoy my beverage,
mm-hmm.
is now completely useless to me. I don't see the point of holding it. All right. So again, as I use the same word, I will unburden myself of this terrible, terrible load. And there it is. So, and once it hits the ground, it might as well be invisible as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. That's not mine. Prove it.
So Mackie, if anyone in the world can be blamed for bringing unburdened back to the top, it's boiled to the top. Because, imagine what could be unburdened. I don't even know what it is anymore. I've heard it too many times, and it's just salad. So Harris did that to us all.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because what can be unburdened? It's an old phrase from ages ago. Was it Plato or somebody, right? Plagiarized. No, really, plagiarized. It's not something she made up.
Oh no, there's very few things that are original though in this world.
At this point in time, yes. No, I totally agree. I did send you a link for the NBC's NBC News early voter count, and I've got to tell you something that I think is extraordinary. With 62, let's call it 63, just round it up. So 63 million mail-in requests and in-person votes requested nationally. We are at 58 million. Done. So you have to request it. And so 62, let's call it 62 requested, and 58 done. These are million
Yeah.
as a scale. It's extraordinary. The numbers are large. And thinking about, there was 80 million each that voted last time. So, or thereabouts. So you can only imagine that we're just under half of the voting quantity.
I think there'll be more people voting this year on this election than
totally
before. I think.
Agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, I think the message that everybody is giving the, I guess, the voting public in America is, this election matters.
Yeah.
You know, whichever way you're swinging, I don't really care, to be honest. But this election matters. So if you want to have a say in it, or you want a certain outcome, you better get out there and vote.
Yeah.
Which honestly I think is great, because the truth is this, right? Voting fraud and other arguments notwithstanding, the more people that come out to vote, the less people can complain after. Right? So while you voted,
yes. Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, fair enough. If you vote and you don't get what you want, you can complain because you did vote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's okay. You can.
I know.
But if you don't vote
uh-huh.
and you don't get what you want, you can't complain. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's when you shut up. That's right.
You shut up. You gotta shut up. Right?
Wait till next time.
Zip. Yeah. But if there is a next time, I'm dubious on that fact, my friend. I really am. I'm not entirely sure that
yapping is what they can do.
I'll say it here. Okay, and hey, unfortunately, I've been wrong rarely. So let's hope I'm wrong with this one.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's going to be a next election in the States.
Uh-huh.
This is the one. This is it. Not going to be one after. No matter what happens, there's not going to be another election for president of the United States after this one. It just won't happen. Let's hope I'm wrong.
Well, you know, Nostradamus, there's plenty of reasons for it. We could go into a global war and then there wouldn't be one.
Many reasons.
Yeah, I know many. But anyway, remember the, what do you call it? Roast. It was a roast comedian I've discovered that said that Puerto Rico joke.
Yeah, but
a roast comedian.
It doesn't matter what kind of comedian, yeah.
Well, his forte is roasts.
Yeah, I know, but what is comedy if not roasts? I mean, if you look at Jimmy Carr, that's all he does. I mean, he actually encourages his audience to heckle him. Heckle me, go on, do it.
Go on. I dare you. Right?
You know? Well, you know,
give me your best
stupidly,
shot.
Yeah, stupidly they do. No, I understand what you're saying, but that's irrelevant. To again, you know, has more of it been made than was necessary? Well, do we all know what Puerto Rico is? Puerto Rico, and I don't know if you know this, but it's the American territory.
Uh-huh.
Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico can't vote for American, but if you're Puerto Rican in America, you can.
That's right.
Okay, so it's an American territory. So why you are down? I don't know why you would be down on Puerto Rico, because it's part of, for all intents and purposes, the United States. So if you want to make fun of Latin Americans or Mesoamericans, Puerto Rico is probably the wrong target because it's part of the United States.
Uh-huh.
If you wanted to make fun of the Latino or the Latin American nations, right? You pick Mexico or Venezuela or some other place that is not America, right? Just saying here, just saying. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying that's what you would do if you wanted to make a point like that, because that's like saying, oh, you know, Texas is all garbage people in Texas. What? No.
Oh, there you go. You've used my segue.
Yeah. Oh, have I?
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid. I mean, what Biden said was even more stupid, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And there's no excuse for that. I don't care how much backpedaling there is.
His team asked him to retract it, and they worked out a way of being able to fix what he said.
No. So let's be clear here.
I'm only saying what they told him to do.
Oh, yeah. So let's be clear here, right? He walked it back. He didn't fix it.
Of course he didn't fix it. No.
Because he said it.
It's out there now, and now there's memes already.
like Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't die by suicide in prison, as
That's
everybody,
right.
including the Eskimos, knows. He is like saying, "Oh no, I never did anything wrong." You said it, doesn't make it.
That's right. I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
Never.
I'm distinguishing said and did. Yeah, they're different things. So I've got on the screen here, Becky, this is a shot from a video of Donald Trump hilariously trolling Joe Biden's comment after the garbage gaffe. And he's got a garbage truck with Trump. He drove in it, and it's pretty funny. And he answered all the questions down at a press conference while he's in the truck. It's fantastic, right? Utilizing it. And look, I'm going to say, if anyone can control the narrative, he's brilliant at that. Absolutely brilliant at controlling it and taking it his direction. So that was some good work right there. Joe Rogan mentioned that comic, and I saw a couple of minutes of his work at one of the most recent roasts that he did, and all the jokes were similar in another way. They're all shots, basically like instead of an execution, they just shoot your kneecaps. Right? That's what roast jokes are all about, and everyone laughs, even the person it's directed at. They laugh because it's fun. It's fun to hear an opposing view and something that makes you laugh all at the same time. Even if you disagree with it, far out, it makes you laugh, right? That's it. And so I thought that was tremendous that Trump had to get signage made, designed, made, printed appropriately large enough to be able to fit on a garbage truck. And it was less than 24 hours. So I got to commend him for his marketing team being able to get that out. That to me made me laugh. Out of all the things in this election, I think that is the funniest part of it. I was wondering, personally, I thought maybe that comedian was a shill in there trying to destroy the voting base and connect them to all these bad things, and I was wrong. And it's the 31st. This is the last day of October in Australia. Tomorrow it is for you guys, or today in America it is. And Hillary Clinton's October surprise, and to do with Russia and Trump, she mentioned them all in the same sentence, and I'm wondering, where is this thing? Where is this surprise? And then, wait, and then I found a crazy story, which a Russian court has determined that it's appropriate to fine Google. There's too many zeros for me to say the number as a number, but this is the end of a 4-year court case against the US tech giant, and it's culminated in a $20 decillion fine. So it's 20,000 million dollars. I don't have a word for how large that is. I mean, it's ludicrous. It's completely ludicrous number, but that's what they're saying. The court has decided. I don't care how many kangaroos they had in there.
No. What was the ruling though? I mean, what are they guilty of?
Yeah, that's right. So the situation began when Google banned the ultra-nationalist Zagreb
Actually, they're calling it 20 undecillion or 2.5 decillion. If you know what that is, it's 2.5 decillion, DECILLION dollars. There's actually a word. So which, like Dave said, is 2.5 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough money in the galaxy, I think, to pay this fine.
Well, I know how you could pay it off. straight away.
It's
how?
larger than the global GDP.
If you're the US government and you have a deep black secret space program, you could say, all right, here's your iron meteor, and just direct it at Russia.
The thing is, I mean, I don't understand
We'll pay you.
but what's the point though? Now, see, what I mean by that is this. Okay, so you want to teach Google a lesson or whatever. I mean, clearly this is some kind of, I guess, like a publicity kind of thing. Fair enough, I get it, right? But keep it in the realm of a number that people understand. If you look at 2.5 decillion, it's meaningless to people. If Russia had fined Google, let's say, $1 trillion, let's say, right?
Sure.
Or $1 trillion. Because we understand trillion. There's billionaires, and now there might be a trillionaire amongst us, but we understand $1 trillion. That's something that hurts, but it's like saying, the heat death of the universe is imminent. It means nothing until it happens, but even then, it's over so quick you don't even know what's going on. And this is a number that is followed by 36 zeros, Dave.
Yeah. So
What?
the owners of Zagrad Station had been under US sanctions since late 2014. A Russian court ordered Google to return access to the blocked accounts with the threat of progressive fine if this was not done. Several more YouTube channels, including Sputnik, NTV, Russia 24, and eventually all Russian state channels, were blocked in 2022.
Yeah. Now, they can't actually collect any of this ever because there's no global court that would say yes, and then there's no global police force and no global jail, no global debtors prison they're going to throw you in. Yeah, so it's meaningless in that sense, just like the European Court of Justice or the Hague, the ICC, International Criminal Court, completely pointless institutions. But nonetheless, here we are. It's just
in a gentleman's world, the Hague has been a legitimate place for global decisions, in a gentleman's game. But it's not that anymore.
It's irrelevant. Let's be clear. Right? It's completely irrelevant. It has no bearing on reality or any political decisions anyone takes. Now, unless, of course, Putin has a way to collect, and that then, of course, will finance his war in Ukraine. Quite nicely, thank you. I now have enough money to, in fact, prosecute this war until the heat death of the universe. It's okay. See how we're going full circle with that?
Do you know what I think's funny? There's not a field in a database that's large enough to take that number. So if you looked at your bank account tomorrow and the numbers went off the screen, and how much money is there in my account? Oh, according to this, you own the planet. That's enough money to buy the planet, probably.
Oh, that's funny.
In fact, you own all the money. In fact, we totaled all the estimates of all the money in the entire world, and that's well more than that. All the value of all the property, well more than that. It doesn't matter anymore. In fact, we'll throw the moon and Mars in for that much, right?
Actually, you'd be able to claim everything right up to the Oort cloud, I reckon, including the Oort cloud.
The Oort cloud, there you go. Yeah. So did you like my way of being able to pay the debt?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just slam a one of those mineral-rich meteors into Russia. Here you go, incoming.
Yeah. This is a solid diamond meteorite. It's about the size of Moscow. Are we? Would you say we're square now? Would you say that's so? We're good now. Hello, Russia. Hello. Hey, opa. Sorry, garbage, fascist, Nazi, deplorable American here, love to handle, is telling me, and us in fact, that Puerto Rico does have a waste disposal problem. That might be true, which is fair enough. I mean, I won't tell you what happened one summer in Turkey when I was there. There was a garbage strike. I was in Istanbul, and that's a city where you don't want the garbage men striking. I can tell you that. Trust me on that. But look, Dave, it's ridiculous, right? And look, the October surprise is actually like a traditional thing. There's this in years, previous election cycles, something has always happened in October that then affected the election in some way or another. Not every time, but quite a few times in October. That's why we're talking about the October surprise. Now, I think the October surprise is not going to happen unless in the last few hours of the 31st, All Hallows Eve, something is coming our way. But I do think that this election, I don't think there'll be a closer election ever again, or I don't think there ever has been a closer election than this one. And
the Al Gore one was pretty close, and when Biden won, it was only by 0.3.
Yeah, I think this is going to be
much closer.
You know what'd be funny? It'd be funny if it was just like 1 or 2 votes. Imagine that. Imagine
wow.
I mean, you could recount until the end of time and you still wouldn't find agreement. You know what I'm saying to you?
It was just a dead tie.
Or, can I just say this to our American listeners and tell this to all your American friends everywhere? Just have a campaign, plastered on the walls. Vote for the Libertarian candidate. Vote. He's always there. The Libertarian. I think his name is Lieberman. Gotta look it up, but vote for him, just to see what happens. And then, well, it won't be Harris, and it won't be Chase Oliver. Chase Oliver is the presidential nominee of the Libertarian Party of the United States. Chase Oliver. Vote for Chase Oliver. Okay.
So, did you see the video I sent through to you, Becky? It was a flying carpet.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, so flying carpet. You know those flight suits that you can wear, and it's got like a wingsuit, and you can jump off some crazy height platform and glide, falling, but glide, kilometers away. Well, flying carpet, imagine if you're an attacker and you've got a flying carpet and you can fly through the air and attack your targets.
Sure.
So this thing came up and someone's, I don't know where they are, I just don't know, but they're flying with a carpet with a board around the front edge and down the sides, but the back hasn't got a board, like a rod, and they fly just like one of those flight suits, and they ended up going a very long way away from where they were, kilometers and kilometers, on a flying carpet. Now, I always imagined it was just the translation over time of what a flying carpet might have meant. From one era to another, one technology to another, and did it make sense, right? Well, not really to the people trying to describe it, but if you had a flight suit on or something like that, that could kind of work. But flying carpet, yeah, sure, it's been proven that you can do it. I just think it's amazing. It's not the rocket suit the guy had that was, self-propelled or anything. This is just jumping off a large mountain and gliding like a glider all the way to the bottom. Yeah. Just extraordinary. It made me think. That's what it did. It made me think about how we might have misconstrued the wording of flying carpet, where you get on it on ground level and fly about. Maybe it was used like an attack platform. I don't know. But do have a look, everyone. I did share it with our YouTube audience, but and do like, subscribe, and comment and all that stuff at the bottom of the video and share it out. But do you know what? I've got to say, we have a very active chat room tonight, Mecky.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
So
yeah,
whoever-
Chase Oliver. Chase Oliver has this question. He's the Libertarian Party's nominee. Now, the Libertarian Party holds exactly no seats anywhere except, I think, in a state state senate somewhere. There's one seat they're holding somewhere. But the party was formed in 1971, believe it or not, and it's got 740,000 members across the United States. So it's not a majority party by any stretch of the imagination. And they're sort of they're really big on civil liberties and small government. Small government is what they're really standing for. Libertarianism's main doctrine is also around non-interventionism and pretty much unregulated capitalism, which is probably not a good idea. But yeah, I never heard of him. But that's he's the party was actually founded in Virginia by David Nolan. If you're interested, and the presidential nominee is Chase Oliver, and Mike Termat is the vice president. So are we going to see much of that? He will be the third person on the ballot when they read the numbers. There'll be a Republican, there'll be Democrat, and the Libertarians. They always get like a percentage point or something, or point whatever, something. They're always the
someone
third.
they vote for themselves.
Well, someone votes. There's like I said, almost a million members, so someone's going to vote. But it is time, though. And I know we're running out of time here, but it is time to do away with our systems, not just in America, all over the world. I think we've proven, with a few notable exceptions, naturally, I think we've proven that our systems don't work. Okay, we seem to polarize in a lot of places on two parties, and even if it's not an official two-party system, it really is. So America is not really a two-party system. There's no opposition, as like you have in the Westminster system. But for all intents and purposes, there is, right? If the Republicans are in power, the Democrats are in opposition. If the Democrats are in power, the Republicans are in opposition. For all intents and purposes, for the United States. Or you've got a one-party rule, like in Singapore, like in Russia, like in North Korea, and other places as well, right? I don't think the systems that we have work anymore, because they've all been corrupted to the point where they're no longer workable for the people. If your economic policies are now designed to make sure people lose their jobs, and that's what's happening in Australia, then there's something fundamentally wrong with your system, okay? Because what you're doing now, we become so obsessed with we're so blinkered and tunnel vision that we don't see it anymore. But take a step back and realize just what's happening here. The people are the important thing. Nothing else matters, just the people. And we've now decided in our wisdom in Australia, more people need to lose their job because it's better for the economy. What it really is saying is better for the rich people, for the parasites, thank you very much.
That's right.
Okay? Not for the people, because the people are losing their jobs, everybody. And the people that are making the decisions on these things are not the people that are losing the jobs.
And they'll be fine.
What?
Yeah.
They'll be fine. I know you're worried, Dave.
I know, I was for a minute. Yeah.
They're going to be okay, Dave. They're going to be all right.
I found out today, one of my ex-bosses from a while ago, 10 years ago, is also unemployed now, just recently.
See, that's just nuts. Now we're talking qualified people here. We're saying, we've got a skill shortage in Australia. What skills are we looking for here? I know of many people with highly skilled abilities and yeah, I've got musical people too. But anyway. Hey, this has been Plato's Cave. Thank you so much for listening to our Complaint Hour. Tuesday, the Complaint Hour. Thursday. Well, today's Thursday, that's right. So thank you very much for listening. Don't go anywhere. Something's going to come up. But most importantly, Dave,
be safe.